Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Today we're going to be really getting into the nitty-gritty of something pretty crucial in Canadian construction, and that is working with AHJs.
Authorities having jurisdiction.
That's right.
Yeah.
Authorities having jurisdiction,
Hmm.
those folks who uh, will make sure things are built right, safely, and by the book.
Absolutely.
And, if you are aiming for the top tier, that that coveted gold seal certification in project management, well, understanding how to work with AHJs, this is like level one.
Yeah. You got to know this stuff.
Yeah, it's essential. So, before we really get into the weeds here, let's just do a quick level set for everybody.
Sure.
What even is gold seal certification, and why should anyone, really care? I mean, it sounds all official and important, but is it just another piece of paper, to frame on the wall?
I mean, it's a good question. I like to think of it almost like it's like the LED certification we see for buildings, but instead of for buildings, it's for people. Oh, okay. Interesting.
So you know how LED shows that a building is environmentally friendly, sustainable, all that good stuff?
Right.
Well, Gold Seal, it's kind of like that, but for the people in charge.
Yeah.
It proves that the people, the project managers running the whole show, they're not just skilled, like they had the technical tops, but they're also ethical.
Right.
They're committed to the highest standards of management. It's a big deal, it sends a strong signal in the construction world.
Okay, so it's about more than just checking boxes. It's about trust, reputation, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
And AHJs, they play a pretty big role in all of that, right? I mean, they're there to make sure everyone's playing by the rules.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, we're talking safety. We're talking about making sure everything's legally compliant, even, environmental protection.
Right.
It's not just about passing that final inspection. It's about ensuring the entire project meets all the standards all along the way through its entire life cycle. So it's a big picture thing. So when we talk about AHJs, we're talking about more than just your city building inspector, right?
Oh, yeah, way more.
Like, give us some examples of AHJs that, that maybe people wouldn't immediately think of.
Okay, sure. So imagine you're building something, let's say near a wetland.
Okay, yeah. Sensitive area.
Exactly. Now, suddenly you're not just dealing with the city, you're also working with provincial environmental agencies. They've got to make sure you're not, disrupting the ecosystem or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, makes sense.
Or let's say it's a really big project, like some major infrastructure, maybe a bridge over, I don't know, a major waterway.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You might even have federal bodies involved, Transport Canada, maybe fisheries and oceans, all making sure things are done right.
Yeah, because the stakes are so high.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. So the scope of who we're talking about when we say AHJ, it's way bigger than I initially thought.
Right. It's a big web.
Yeah, it's a web. So this impacts anyone really who's involved in a project. I mean, from the investors to the homeowners to the people, well, frankly, anyone who just cares about buildings being done right.
Yeah, for sure. That's why, really knowing how to work well with these AHJs, it's essential. And luckily, we do have kind of a secret weapon in all of this, and that's CCDC documents.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. I love a good system, a good, clear process. But, I bet some people out there hearing CCDC documents are kind of rolling their eyes thinking, oh, great, more paperwork.
Oh yeah, I get it.
So convince them. Why are these CCDC documents so important? Why should people really, care about them?
Okay, so think back to that complex site we were talking about, the one near the wetland.
Yeah.
Well, in that situation, CCDC 11, that document, that's going to be your best friend.
Okay.
Because by using that document, you can really clearly define, um, who's responsible for what.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Like who's in charge of environmental monitoring, who's making sure the wetland's protected. You spell it all out. And that clarity, it's not just about, bureaucracy, it's about preventing miscommunication. Because miscommunication, that can lead to costly damage, delays, all that stuff. It's really about proactive protection, not just, reacting when something goes wrong.
So using these CCDC documents, it's not just about avoiding a slap on the wrist from somebody. It's about showing that you're a pro, that you take things seriously right from the beginning.
Yeah, 100%. It builds trust with the AHJs right away. It shows you're committed to doing things the right way, not just cutting corners. And that kind of reputation, that's like gold in this industry.
Absolutely. So, okay, let's say we've got our CCDC documents, all in order. We're prepped. We're ready to meet with the AHJ. What are your top tips for making that meeting a success? What should people keep in mind?
Well, first and foremost, prep is key, right? Have all your ducks in a row.
All your ducks. Okay.
Yeah. Permits, plans, compliance reports, everything. Have it ready to go.
Hmm.
And double check to make sure everything's aligned with those CCDC standards we talked about.
Right.
It really shows the AHJ that you've done your homework. You're taking it seriously.
Yeah, you're not just winging it.
Right.
Okay, so meeting time.
Right.
What's the vibe? Like, how should people, how should they approach the meeting?
Be upfront. Be transparent. Explain clearly what the scope of the project is, what the schedule looks like, and, any potential challenges you can foresee.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially those challenges, right? Like the stuff that's specific to that particular site or project.
Exactly. Clear communication. That's really the key here.
So I bet those, what are they called? Notices in writing?
Yep. Those.
I noticed that in the CCDC documents. I bet those come in handy here.
Oh, for sure. Think of them as like a really detailed record of the meeting. Everything that's discussed, everything that you and the AHJ agree on, it's all documented clearly
Yeah.
in writing. And this is super important because it prevents any he said, she said situations down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
everything is traceable. You can always go back and see, okay, this is what we talked about. This is what we agreed on.
Yeah, it's all right there in black and white.
Exactly.
Okay, meeting's done. What about the follow-up? What are some key things? Yeah. So, when we zoom out and look at the bigger picture, it's clear that this isn't just about, avoiding fines or delays. Working well with AHJs, it's part of a bigger ethical commitment, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's about building safely, sustainably, and with integrity. That's something every construction professional should be proud of.
And that brings up a really interesting thought for all of our listeners out there. How can understanding this role of AHJs, how can that help elevate the entire construction industry?
Yeah, good question.
Push it towards even higher quality, more sustainability across the board. What do you think?
That's the real question, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, when we build better, it benefits everybody.
Absolutely. So for all of you listening, even if you're not in construction, take a look at those CCDC resources that we mentioned. It's actually really fascinating, even if you're not a builder, to just get a glimpse into how professionals work, how they get things done right. Keep learning, stay curious, and, build well, everybody.
Build well.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.